to send you back to KXLY4's Jeff Humphrey, who is in the Broadmoor Estates area. Jeff?
Yeah, Robin, things are calming down, at least from where we can see the fire. We're here at the Broadmoor Estates, which is just off the Glenrose Prairie, and we're on the western edge of the fire. You can see it now below us. It's still burning in the areas that haven't been torched off so far, and with the wind dying down, the fire's starting to make its way uphill toward where we are. Fire's going to do that tonight because without the wind holding it at bay, it wants to burn uphill, and you can see it making a nice slow advance. The good news is that it's staying on the ground. It's kind of a low-intensity ground fire at this point without the help of the wind, and that means that we're not seeing trees crowning out, which is the thing that helps a fire spread. And whenever the fires go to the treetops, we can have as many human resources as the governor will send us. We cannot fight fires when it's no longer on the ground. Those hand crews, when the thing's crowning, there's nothing you can do it except an air tanker, or in some cases a dozer. Firefighters can't fight fires that are that big. They can only try to contain them. They are doing a good job making sure that it doesn't run over the top of this ridge. It'll make it all the way up to Thiernan tonight, which is the road that goes across the top of this ridge, but it's not crowning out now. We expect there to be an overflight later on this evening. The Army Guard has a really interesting plane that has a thermal imaging sensor, and that's where you get your most accurate reading of exactly how big the fire is, where the hot spots are, and where the potential for growth is. And so when that plane flies over, it gives them it picks up the heat of the fire and gives fire crews a very good idea of exactly how big the fire is, and that gives them the plan for tomorrow to how you go about trying to get a line around the entire fire so that you have containment. You can see over here on my left, it's still burning up through the thicker brush. These are mostly doghair trees that have come up after a previous fire. They all get their start at the same time. They're those kind of trees that are only about 2 inches in diameter, and the doghair burns very well. And fortunately, there's not a house at the top of the ridgeline there. The house that we're looking at is just a little bit this side of that fire. There are structural protection rigs here in Broadmoor Estates, and they'll be here all night long, making sure that the fire doesn't backtrack on itself and spread over the top of this ridge line, because the next place that the fire would burn if it came this direction would be on the Glenrose Prairie, and certainly this fire is more than big enough. They don't want that to happen. I don't think it's going to happen the way that our forecast is coming from Chris Crocker, but it will burn through the course of the night, even though we have the higher humidities and the lower temperatures and a lot less wind. It'll be days before this fire is fully extinguished, and as you can tell, it's still going to burn right up to these houses. Fortunately, these folks have their defensible space in place, and it's made it easy for Fire District 8 to provide them the structural protection that they needed. Dave, Robin.